Thank you for joining. My name is Alex Arney. I am a sales associate here at Eastridge Technology, and I'll be presenting today's webinar. Today's webinar is going to focus on the newest email and collaboration solutions for the real estate industry. As you can see by the title of this slide, it's going to be Office 365 that we focus on, and it's going to be that product or that newest email and collaboration solutions that I first talked about. So Microsoft went ahead and it started polling a lot of industries that it had felt that there were common IT or infrastructure issues, and among those industries, real estate was one of them. And so these are the four top issues that they found to be, relative to all of these industries, but specifically narrowing it down into real estate and finding what their problems were. And so these are those top four that they found. Our agents are often off-site and need access to the latest listings and fast. So really you're looking for anywhere access. And then the next one was we can't share project information with our contractors. So, needing to collaborate or work together. We don't have local IT staff available to troubleshoot issues. Looking for easy IT, not having to focus your time on IT when your main job is real estate. It's hard to keep track of licensing and network cost. Looking for the best value or most efficient. So, like I said, Office 365 is going to be just that. Office 365 offers quite a bit of online solutions, but one thing I do want to note before I get any further into explaining what Office 365 is and those available features, I do want to explain that a lot of people see Office 365 and they say, oh, that must be the newest Office. Where actually it is not the newest version of Office, rather it's this bundle of these cloud solutions. And though it can include those Office solutions such as Word and PowerPoint in Office Professional Plus, it's not specific to that. So Office 365, not only is it familiar, like I said, you can include those Office products using Office Professional Plus or Office web apps, but then you also get business email or Exchange Online. And with Exchange Online, a few things to note about each of these, but specifically for Exchange Online, you're looking at 25 gigabytes per user, which is a substantial amount in comparison to the average 6 to 16. So Exchange Online includes 25 gigabytes per user per mailbox. You also have the availability to kind of move that around. Suppose a few of you need more than 25 gigabytes, say 50 or 35. You're able to kind of move around that storage from the admin portal and put it in place to those users that need it and maybe the users that need less email storage. You also have Outlook web access. So using the internet and being able to access your email from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection, that's always a great plus to having Exchange Online. And then, of course, as we get later on through the PowerPoint, I'm going to point out a few of the plans and options. But do note that you can get unlimited personal archive. So if that 25 gigabytes is not going to be enough for each user or for all of your users, then you do have the option to upgrade to unlimited. And then also you get your shared calendars and contacts using Outlook or Exchange Online. The next solution that I'm going to go over is, as you see, document sharing or SharePoint Online. For those of you who are not familiar with SharePoint Online, this is a document library, pretty much. You can store this on the internet safely and securely, as far as it could be something internal. Suppose you have an intranet where you're working internally with maybe your agents, maybe office assistants, and kind of keeping all of your documentation, maybe a few wikis as far as how to, or the document and procedure that your firm uses in selling or closing a deal. But using this document library or SharePoint Online, you can keep these templates, keep this type of documentation, all within SharePoint Online, as well as you have the option to use an extranet. So suppose you have architects or housekeepers. They may need access to certain files or certain documentation that you've set up using an extranet that they can access just by following a link that you send them. But it's going to be specific to that. So it's not going to be all of your internal documentation as I just talked about using an intranet. Instead, it's going to be an extranet, so using external users. And a good thing about Office 365 is right now you can have up to 10,000, actually I believe it's 1,000, excuse me on that number, 1,000 users free for external users, and those are considered PALs. So if you ever hear someone talking about Office 365 PALs, those are external users. So you have up to 1,000 for free. And then, of course, you have your public-facing site or just a general website that you could use. But all of those are options within SharePoint Online. So that's going to be that document sharing or document library. So you have an intranet, an extranet, or a public-facing. And then moving on into web conferencing. This is actually specific to Link Online. As you can see, we are using Link currently to host this meeting and record. So Link Online is really a communication client. It enables you to do voice, video, IM, as well as show your presence, collaboration on presentations, documentation, present, kind of do a brainstorming session even. You could pop up a whiteboard or use a polling to survey whoever it may be that you're presenting to. But Link Online is a communication client that includes all of those abilities. You can do international PC to PC calls with VoIP between Office and agents. That, of course, requires one of the E3 plans, which I'll get to later. But just to give you an idea, it really provides a lot of options as far as communication, especially for those who are not always sitting in the office or right beside you. So, and for real estate, that's generally every single day. So this gives you an idea of how to be able to communicate and see the presence of each of your fellow agents or external users just using the Link app, whether it's on your mobile phone or your actual computer. So that's Office 365. Again, you're getting those Office products, whether it be Office Professional Plus or Office web apps. You're also getting Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and then Link Online, again, that communication client. So let's go back over those four main issues, and we're going to kind of break them down as follows. But just to give you an idea, again, anywhere access, work together, easy IT, and best value. So anywhere access, with Office 365, you want to be able to check your email, whether it be from your mobile phone, from your laptop, from your tablet, really any type of device that you can get your hands on that's got internet connection. You're going to want to be able to connect with your email, especially in real estate. You're getting tons and tons of emails in a day, whether it be new listings or closings. So you really want to keep up with everything and make sure everything's constantly being updated. So you're always looking at the newest upload of these emails and have access to respond to them if needed. So email and presence. With Office 365, you get access to your latest email from anywhere, using all major browsers, including Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, or any device, including, a PC, a Mac, a Windows phone, an iPhone, an Android, and, of course, a BlackBerry. Faster email response responses and less downtime when away from your workplace. So, you know, you're able to collaborate and share no matter where and no matter when. As you can see to the right, you see a mobile phone. It looks to be a Windows phone. This is to give you an idea of the presence and being able to see, you know, if whoever that may be, is if they're available, how to connect with them using a link online application or mobile phone application. And then in the background you see there Office 365. It looks to be in an internet browser, which means it's OWA, and you know, accessing your email and seeing all of those folders, your calendar, your contacts, your tasks, all from OWA or Outlook Web Access. You also want to have document viewing or editing. Being able to collaborate on documentation, you know, away from the desk seems to be a common issue throughout a lot of industries, but specifically that of real estate, and you know, being on the road constantly and wanting to close a deal and having the documentation that you just need to fill a few things out. The great thing about Office 365 is all of those online solutions are, you know, common and cohesive. They're all sitting on the same platform, and so they all work together seamlessly. So to the right of this screen, you can see another Windows phone. This is showing, you know, editing a document using that mobile phone. And then in the background, you can see it looks to be a Word application. And a few people seem to be editing it. As you can see, that little pop-up that shows two names with the little images beside it. That's to show you that not only is Link Online working there, SharePoint Online is working there, as well as your Office products. So it looks to be that someone possibly went on to their SharePoint site, had a Word document, clicked to open in Word, so you're editing the document either from your computer, and it's still using Link to show the presence of who else is editing in this document. A lot of times we have documentation that's been edited and then, you know, not necessarily saved in the same format or in the same place, so you have multiple versionings of certain documentation. Well, this eliminates that, you know, hassle. Using SharePoint Online and Link, you can see who's in the document editing, and it's about a 3 to 5 second refresh, so it's going to constantly update it and show you those changes as they're being made. And the same thing, you know, exists in the mobile phone. As you can see there, that's an image of editing a Word document from your mobile phone. So you don't have to pull it down on your desktop or onto your mobile phone to edit in Word. You can also edit within the browser using Office web apps. Contacts and meetings. Of course, in real estate, you've got 9 million meetings a day. You know, whether it be with meeting with architects, brokers, you know, leasing agents, new clients, you name it. You always are constantly being contacted, needing to be at meetings, whether you're hosting them or just going to them as you know, a spectator or whatever it may be. You're constantly on the go. And using Office 365 or Link Online, you're able to host these virtual meetings that can, you know, save you time and money, you know, in traveling or, you know, just time just transitioning about, you know, emailing back and forth of scheduling a date and others. So to the right of the screen, this is a Link application. This is exactly what we're using now, again, to do this presentation. As you can see, Link, in this little window at the link, it's showing you that two people are video and more than likely audio chatting as well as instant messaging. And it looks like they're sharing a project approach or, you know, some template, or it could be a PowerPoint presentation, as I'm showing now. Like I said before, you can pop up a whiteboard, do a few polls to survey your crowd, but really you've got a lot of information and a lot of tools to use within Link that makes meetings and contacting people much easier and less, you know, hassle and less time and energy and money, like I said, being put into it. You can also use your mobile phone. If you're an agent who's constantly on the road and doesn't have time to maybe stop at every location, you can use Link to host join online meetings, or even, just see the presence of maybe the employees in your office or at other firms that your Link client is federated with. You can see their presence. So again, contacts and meetings, wanting to be able to have access anywhere and to be able to, connect with those contacts and be able to have meetings with them at any moment's notice. And using Link Online, it makes it much more possible. News and search. So within SharePoint Online, you also have something that's called a My Site. This is something sort of like a social media tool, or really profile. I wouldn't say tool, I'd say profile. As you can see in the back, to the right of the screen, it shows my profile, and it looks to be Karen Berg. So this is to give you an idea of a My Site, and kind of gives you, again, it shows her presence, that little green dot that sits by her name. That's Link, coexisting with SharePoint Online there. But it's also showing you information about Karen, maybe the organization she used to work for, her expertise. You can also write on her wall, post statuses. So this kind of keeps you in an internal environment as far as employees or those that you are sharing your SharePoint Online or My Site with, but it kind of keeps your social media information, whether it's work-related or not, but it keeps it in one place, and that way you have access to go obtain information maybe about new employees, or you just wanted to edit some documentation or information about yourself. And you can also use, as you see in front of that screenshot to the right, it's again a mobile phone. And this is showing, it looks like just to be a SharePoint site. So it's showing you the availability of using a mobile phone and seeing how easy and normal it is using a mobile device, and not misconfiguring everything just because it's a mobile application of SharePoint Online. So being able to access news and search, and using that social media, and being able to find people and information about them, using, again, SharePoint Online and Link Online, all coexist and work seamlessly together. So let's transition into working together. Sharing insights. So as I mentioned before, SharePoint Online and then using Office web apps enables you to edit documents and really collaborate on documentation all at the same time, and being able to see those changes as they happen. So to the right of the screen you see a internet browser, which looks like it's been in a SharePoint site, and it's editing a document, an Excel document, using Office web apps. And as you can see, I know the image is small, but it does show you that normal Excel ribbon as you would if you open the on-desktop application of Excel. So it's really supposed to show you how common and how familiar they are. So you're not getting lost in having to do training, but really you're just getting to work on the documentation that you need to, and knock that out of the way while collaborating with others. And again, using that link Online, it's going to show the presence of whoever else is in that document editing with you. And again, a 3 to 5 second refresh, so it's going to be constantly updating the information that both parties are inputting. So sharing insights and being able to collaborate on documentation and working together is always a plus, and especially in real estate, needing to have access from anywhere, collaborate all at the same time without having to waste any time. So Office web apps using SharePoint Online enables you to do so. Effective meetings. So I know we've hit on link a lot, but this really goes to show how effective your meetings can be. Whether it be time and money as far as traveling to a location for any type of meeting, you know, you're really getting to save a lot by having link online. Not only is it going to cut down on your phone bills, I know a lot of employees here at my office, we don't necessarily always get up from our office, from our desk, or we have a few remote workers in Raleigh and Charlotte, and instead of dialing through our phones, or using, you know, text messaging, whatever it may be, or email, you know, we pull up our link client, we click to chat, whether it be instant messaging, voice or video, or, you know, sharing anything or collaborating on something. Link has eliminated a lot of time that we used to use and money in trying to communicate with those, whether it be internal, like I said, of our remote workers or not. It's really eliminated a lot of cost as far as phone bills and traveling, but not to mention how easy it's been to use Link. So using Link, of course, you're able to hold effective meetings as we're doing now, and really collaborate on the documentation or presentation that you need to. So I'm going to show you shared calendars in our demo, but this is to give you an idea of working together. It may be that you've got an architect's calendar, or you've got, you know, a broker's calendar, just to kind of give you an idea to be able to share and to see their presence. So maybe you need to schedule a meeting with them. You're able to go to your calendar, pull up both calendars, kind of look, and then schedule accordingly. So shared calendars and contacts is always a plus in Office 365, or really any IT solution, because being able to know when people are available can prove to have its benefits. So cross-platform support. As you can see, this is a Windows phone. It looks to be an iPhone and possibly an Android. This is to kind of give you an idea of how well Office 365 exists on all different types of devices, whether it be a laptop, whether it be a desktop, whether it be a tablet, a mobile device. Really, you're able to access Office 365 using Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Link Online, and Office Pro Plus or Office Web Apps. You're able to access all of these online solutions using any type of device. So a lot of companies used to have to work with only certain types of solutions because, you know, its users had Blackberries, or their users only had a certain type of computer. So Office 365 and Microsoft really tried to eliminate that. They wanted this to be available for every user, no matter what type of device they're using. So as we talked about before, easy IT. Antivirus, anti-spam, being able to access any type of documentation using your email, but knowing that it's secure is certainly going to keep you comfortable with, you know, any type of solution that you're using. But with Office 365, you're able to have antivirus and anti-spam standard, no additional cost, no service needed to, or find a third-party service to come in and help with that. This is automatic and standard within Office 365. You know, Office 365 exceeds essential security requirements for business, you know, providing multi-virus scanning engines built into Exchange Online, and that deliver up-to-date virus and spam protections through filters. You know, the end result is that in real estate, where As I said, many companies don't employ on-site IT staff. The company can worry less about malicious software and focus on their efforts serving the customers and closing deals. So not having to worry about any third party having to come in and install or having to buy a different solution to make sure that there's antivirus and anti-spam. It's all included within Office 365 and built into Exchange Online standard. So high availability, like I had mentioned before, you want access no matter where you're at. Being able to use and have a familiar environment so that you're able to collaborate and work together. You know, all of those things go into making sure that this online solution, Office 365, gives you high availability and is always accessible. So Microsoft backs up Office 365 with a 99.9 uptime guarantee, which one thing a lot of companies don't do, especially cloud solutions, is if there is, for any reason, any downtime, Microsoft is going to accredit your account that following billing cycle because they don't want you to be without work. They understand that business is business, and that's, you know, what calls first, not having to worry about IT and not having to worry about the solutions and its capabilities, but really just having access at any point in time to the information that you need that keeps your business going. So Office 365 provides high availability and able to access the information and all of those online solutions constantly. Another great thing about Office 365 is, I will show you in a little bit as we get into the demo, but simple admin. I know I had mentioned when talking about Exchange Online, being able to divvy up that that email storage, that 25 gigabytes, being able to move that around using the admin console, you know, it really eliminates time and having to go and touch each of those devices if needed, or that server. So having that simple admin really comes into play when, you know, just doing simple little things such as moving email storage around or setting restrictions as far as who can access certain documentation, who can see certain things within SharePoint Online, who can edit certain things within SharePoint Online, you know, as well as being able to have remote wipe. If someone was to lose their mobile device that has documentation or information about your company, whatever it may be, through the admin console, they're able to go in and remotely wipe that mobile device or tablet or whatever it may be using remote wipe, and that's included in Office 365. So really simple admin is just to give you an idea of going into the admin portal, making the appropriate changes and kind of just pushing it out. There's nothing more to do. You know, if you decide to go with that E3 plan using Office Professional Plus, you're going to have availability for that latest and greatest versioning of Office whenever it comes out. So Office 2013, whenever that approaches and is accessible for download, it's going to be sitting right there in that admin portal, and you're able to download and push it out to all of your users using that same plan. So again, just to give you an idea of how simple it can be using one location and doing it all remotely, using that simple admin. And then 24/7 monitoring. So like I had said before, if there was to be any downtime, of course, Microsoft is going to recredit your account that following billing cycle. But, you know, not only are they, you know, constantly going to have that uptime guarantee, but they also have a 24/7 IT dedicated support team, so that if you do encounter any, you know, glitches with maybe just one of those online applications, you're able to call Microsoft, call actually that Office 365 team, and get help for the issues that you need, but using that 24/7 IT dedicated support. And, you know, that dedicated support is standard within all the enterprise packages, which we'll get to later. But easy IT, so antivirus, anti-spam, standard and Exchange, high availability, having access from anywhere, but knowing that it's not going to go down and you're not going to have access to any of your content for your business. Again, it's backed by 99.9% uptime guarantee. Using that simple admin, being able to push out any type of information that you need to and access information as far as changing storage or setting controls or standards for your users using simple admin, and then 24/7 IT dedicated support. So all of those things are standard within Office 365. Alrighty, so next is best value. Low upfront costs, so not having to spend that, $6 to $60,000 up front for multiple servers or one server, to keep in-house and to keep everybody working. So Office 365 offers low upfront costs by saying each of these plans, or even the standalones, these are all available per user per month. So you're going to automatically know exactly what you're paying for as you're going, but not having to pay that upfront huge amount for any types of servers, any type of training from a third party, getting a third party in, IT or managed service team to come in and help and set up and migrate and transfer, not having to contact them constantly. And using Office 365, you're eliminating that low upfront cost. You're eliminating that high upfront cost of the servers and any type of training and support team. So predictable pricing. I kind of just hit on this as far as knowing exactly what you're going to be paying for as you sign up for it. Those prices have changed once, as we'll see later. The prices that I'll show you later have changed once in a 20% reduction. So if anything, the prices will not move or vary. They could go down with any type of price drop, but other than that, these prices will stay pretty much the same, giving you an idea of exactly what you're paying for and knowing ahead of time. That way you're able to plan accordingly. So easy to scale. With Office 365, as I'll show you later, there are multiple plans. So knowing exactly what your users need and being able to plan accordingly and giving them the set plan that's more applicable for them is easy to do with Office 365. Though you may have 25 employees, and whereas you used to order a certain type of product, 25, all standard, all the exact same, Office 365 offers availability to change and intermingle different types of plans. So maybe you've got 6 E3s and 10 E2s and 5 Exchange Online plans. You're able to bundle all of those things and know exactly what the costs are for each and kind of plan accordingly, but knowing you're able to move around plans and add or delete users as needed because you know that you're able to scale more or less and exactly for what they need. So familiar and consistent. I hit on this earlier saying that Office 365, a lot of people do think that Office 365 is going to be the latest and greatest version of Office, whereas it's really all of these online solutions put into Office 365. And, Office Professional Plus is Office. It's that Pro Plus versioning, of course, but that gives you the familiarity of those Office products as well as that Office web apps. Being able to edit documents in the internet browser, certainly saves time and money, but it also makes it easy because you're not having to train on, new solutions and having to get a third party come in and, train one or two or maybe do the entire class. So using familiar and consistent products such as, Exchange Online or Office web apps or Office Professional Plus. So that's pretty much the breakdown of those 4 top issues for real estate. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my desktop now to kind of get into the demo. If you do have any questions, of course, type them into our link meeting here, and I will try and address those as we go. But bear with me one moment as it uploads. Okay, so it should start pulling up here. I'm going to go ahead and type into my internet browser login.microsoftonline.com. And so what I'm going to do really is I'm going to log in to my Office 365 portal. I want to give you an idea of what the layout is. I'm going to go through Exchange or OWA, my Outlook web access, as well as my actual Outlook desktop application to kind of give you an idea of how similar and how, pretty much they're the exact same. One just sits in the sits in the cloud, and the other is my actual on-desktop application pulling the information from the cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then once we kind of go through Outlook, I'm going to show you Link Online, and then we'll move into SharePoint Online and kind of show you those availabilities and features within SharePoint Online and how you can use it, and then possibly go over some of those Office Pro Plus applications or the Office Web Apps applications, excuse me. Okay, so I'm logged in here. This is the Office 365 portal. Again, all I did was go to Internet Explorer, typed in login.microsoftonline.com, entered my credentials, and then voila. So as you can see in the top center, you can navigate, whether it be to your home page where we're at now, to your Outlook, your team site, or SharePoint Online, as well as, I know that you see partner there. That would be either admin or user for you to use, but it gives you an idea of, especially for the admin, you're able to click, right where it says partner there, it would say admin. You're able to click in there and kind of navigate around and see what restrictions you're able to make, as well as any add or delete any users. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start with Outlook. But again, this is Office 365 portal. You can see that there's a navigation in the center, as well as to the right for Outlook Link and SharePoint. And then to the left, you see resources and community. So maybe you have a common issue that you want to ticket using maybe a community blog, or you can, of course, use your 24/7 dedicated IT support. So let's go to Outlook. I just clicked Inbox simply from that home page, and it's going to pull up, my email account. So as you can see, this is OWA. If I click the drop down for my inbox, you can start to see folders that I personally created in my Exchange or Exchange Online account, as well as you can see my calendar is also there, contacts and tasks. But let's just start with email and kind of go through here. So again, 25 gigabytes per user per mailbox, unless otherwise changed around from the admin portal. Each user is sitting with 25 gigabytes per user. Of course, you have the option to upgrade for unlimited if needed, but for the time being, we're just going to focus on 25 gigabytes. Again, Link Online is something that is integrated in all of these applications. It gives you presence as well as the ability to, click to chat or click to call. So I'm in, again, OWA. Travis, someone here at my office sent me, our president, sent me an email. You can see that Travis, the line beside his face was red and it just transitioned to green. So he went from busy to available. So again, that's that presence. If I hover over it, it's going to pop up with that little window saying that's available. If I right-hand click on it, it's going to, not only give me options for, just Outlook as far as collapse all or oldest on top, but it's also going to give me, click to chat. And, as you can see, Travis is changing his status around to kind of give you an idea. And again, if I hover over this, it's going to give me be right back. So again, if you right click, you can click to chat. You can send an email directly from just seeing his name, schedule a meeting, add contacts or edit properties. So using Exchange Online, using Outlook Web Access, you're able to see the presence of these individuals that are in or using Link Online as well that you've connected with. You're able to see their presence as well as click to chat. One thing that brings me to is conversation history. You can see it's a little bit further down in my navigation on the left-hand side, but if I pick conversation history. So the other day, let's see. Okay, so the other day I know that I was working with Corey, and we were trying to work on a certain web part. So I contacted Corey. You can see that it's going to document really conversation history is really just a constant inventory of the conversations and my interaction with each user within Link. It kind of documents all of that out. So I know the other day Corey and I worked on a web part, and so I had contacted him. It tells you if I had an outgoing call, if I had an incoming call, conversations that I had with others. But this is great when go to this link, or did you find information from this web page, or make sure you work with A, B, and C. So that was a conversation within Link, but then a week later I say, oh, what was the information that I needed to remember? What was that A, B, and C? I'm able to click back to that conversation history, find that conversation, and have that readout, that documentation, that script of what we had talked about, as well as for links or images. So it's a really great folder to have, and especially that it sits in Outlook and Exchange Online, constantly having access to that. So it's not just when you're using the Link application. Conversation history sits in Exchange Online. So another thing I'm going to click on real quick just to kind of give you an idea. This is my calendar. As you can see, I've got a few calendars available here. I've put a personal calendar in there. I'm also sharing calendars with Travis as well as Chris here in my office. And this is to kind of give you an idea of, again, sharing calendars, knowing when to be able to schedule an appointment, or, knowing if they're even going to be available if you need to meet with them, whatever it may be. But you can also set a few restrictions on here. As you can see from my calendar, you can see, what those specific meetings are, whereas Travis has his restricted so that only users can see if he's busy or if he's available. And then, Chris is showing, really all of the information from his calendars as far as if he's available, what exactly he's doing. So that's to give you an idea of restrictions that you can set. And maybe you want your calendar available, but you don't want them to see exactly what you're doing. You can, of course, create two different calendars, or as you can see here, only share as far as busy or available standards. So that's OWA. Again, this is my inbox as well as all of these folders that I personally created. You have your conversation history using Link, as well as sharing calendar, contacts, or task. So I'm going to actually click down here in my toolbar to pull up my on desktop application of Outlook. And again, just to give you an idea of how identical they are, you know, the folders are the exact same. Conversation and history is still sitting there on the left-hand panel below, you know, my inbox. My calendar can be clicked from. You can see that I'm sharing calendars again. And then if I unclick or maybe add Corey on, you know, you're able to share calendars with multiple people or just have a, you know, company calendar as well. But this gives you the idea of how similar they are. Again, Exchange is the exact same. I have the exact same emails. I'm able to still see presence of users. So Travis, you know, being able to see if Travis is available, it's going to pop up. If I click to chat, let me close that real quick. So if I hover over Travis, it's going to show you, you know, if I want to send him an email, send him a, you know, instant messaging, call him, as well as more information. So that's just to give you an idea of how similar they are. Again, using Link, it doesn't matter if it's online Outlook web access or the actual desktop application of Outlook. You're still getting to use Link and see that presence and being able to click to chat or communicate with them appropriately as you need to. And again, sharing calendars and contacts and tasks is all the exact same in Outlook or Exchange Online. One thing I do want to note actually before I move on real quick is in my calendar, I'm able to create new appointments as you would in typical Exchange Online, but also if I wanted to create an online meeting, which is what we're using now to go through this presentation, but if you wanted to create a new online meeting, it's already integrated into Outlook, and all you have to do is click online meeting, and as you can see, it goes ahead and populates that calendar invite with the join online meeting with a link, and then we actually use a company called Intercall. We're partners with them for an actual phone service to dial in for our meetings using Link as well. But just to give you an idea of how easy it is to create an appointment and how you know, it's automatic. It's automatically populated in there. You can change the times. You can send to anyone. It doesn't have to be users only using Link. So this gives you an idea of being able to access it from anywhere, being able to work and collaborate together no matter if they're within your company or not. So that is Exchange Online, using Link and creating those online meetings. I'm going to go ahead and pull up this Link application. So to the right-hand side of my screen, you can see my Link client. It shows you, of course, this is kind of like a little social feed, kind of what's happening today, so I can type in hello or whatever it may be, and to others it's going to show, as you see Audrey here, her status says office, Chris says Florida. So also it's also going to show your presence. As you can see, mine says do not disturb, as well as you can see Audrey's is available because of the green, and red is busy, and you can kind of, you know, see the presence if they're not available. So obviously I'm not going to try and call Jeff or call Brian. I would, however, call Nick or call Josh because I know that they're available. And again, it's the same interface, being able to email, click to chat, call, or get more information. You're able to do that in Link as well, that application. So I'm going to pull up that Office 365. This is OWA again, so I'm going to click back now to my main portal. Okay, so that's Exchange Online and that's Link Online. Next thing that we're going to go over is SharePoint Online. So I'm going to click on Team Site. The reason that I'm showing you this first is to kind of give you an idea of what SharePoint Online looks like out of the box. So as you can see, it's very simple. There's navigation to the right and to the left as far as search capabilities, as well as getting started information. So this is SharePoint out of the box. If you did hire a company such as ourselves, or you have some users within your company that feel comfortable within SharePoint and branding a little bit, you can see this is what our Contoso Real Estate intranet looks like with lightly branded abilities and features within. So as you can see, I'm going to click back to that out of the box one more time. Very simple. As you can see, the navigation is very different. There's tabs, there's pictures, there's images, there's calendars. It really just depends on what exactly you need and want within your SharePoint site. And so again, this is lightly branded, but this gives you an idea of how to use your SharePoint site or intranet within your firm. This gives you an idea of keeping track of annual sales, maybe putting that on the home page so that maybe you have a monthly goal, or working for a certain yearly goal. You're able to keep and track that information using graphs, as well as putting information such as news or property information. So I'm going to kind of click through here and give you an idea of how we branded the Contoso Real Estate site. Of course, this isn't necessary, but it's of course an option. So just to kind of look through. So if I was to click on the news, this is kind of company news spot. Knowing if somebody new is within the office, or as you can see, like employee of the month, the new office in Toronto. It's going to kind of give you documentation or blog to kind of keep you informed. That way you're able to click on the news, know what the latest and greatest information is going to be, and then go from there, or ticket it or add a comment. So the next tab that we put in here is objects. So really this is going to be, I guess objects probably wasn't the best word, but property availability. So this is something that we put in here to kind of give you an idea of documenting and keeping track of property listings. So as you can see, this is property that we have available, quote unquote, that is available still to buy. It's got a rating. We also put a picture in there. We put the agent's name as well as the office location. So this is, of course, objects or property availability. As you can see, the object status, you can see if it's reserved, available, sold, and you, of course, can change these or edit these so that it says exactly what you want. But just to give you an idea, so we kind of put it up as objects or property availability. And then employee. Maybe you need to have a directory within your SharePoint site as far as whether it not just be those who are within your office, but also those that you work with externally, maybe contractors, architects, housekeepers, whoever it may be. But you can also keep this documented within an employee list. Next thing I'm going to click on is projects in that tab. So this is kind of showing you using Excel web access and putting Excel documents within, embedding them within your SharePoint site. And of course you can, as you can see, you can open in Excel. If you want to, click File and then Edit, you can edit this document or this Excel file within the Internet browser using Office web apps. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you that. Again, if I clicked on Open Excel, it's going to pull that open. It's going to populate my Excel application on my desktop, or if I click File and Edit within, the Internet browser, it's going to pull up Office web apps. So, and then again, search, which I seem to not have enabled, so I apologize for that. But search, needing to search whether or not it be for a name or something within the documentation that you have in any of your libraries, it's going to pull from all of those options. It's not going to be just within the title or, users. So that's the top tab navigation. As you can see to the left here, you have other navigation as well, as far as pictures. So this is to kind of show you that not only maybe you want to keep an inventory of the pictures and images that you use for certain project sites or houses that you have on the market. This kind of keeps it all within one place. Or really, if you just wanted to see what types of images you usually use, maybe not those specifically. And then object type, so having a separate page or having just a document library for the different types of locations or properties that you would take in for whether it be a flip or a resale. As well as, office locations, housekeeping, inventory, project task, employee calendar and task, and of course resources. So as I was talking about earlier, using like a wiki page or having somewhere to go back to whether or not it's training new employees or just having that documentation to refer back to, being able to kind of go over what the standard procedure is and, kind of learn. So that is SharePoint Online, a brief demo. Again, this is lightly branded. What I just clicked back to was no branding. That's out of the box, and so I'm going to click back to my home page. And so that's Office 365. It includes Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Link Online, and then those Office web apps or that Office Professional Plus. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that PowerPoint real quick. So bear with me one moment. There we go. Okay, so Office 365 is to provide the flexibility that your business needs, whether it be information workers or, maybe an office assistant, kiosk workers, maybe, you don't have dedicated laptops or PCs in your office for certain users, but really everybody just kind of uses it as they please. So wanting to have kiosk workers or a plan just for specifically those that don't always have to access the information, you can set them up with a kiosk plan. External users, so like I was talking about, those PALs or architects or engineers or housekeepers, using external users and having those 1,000 free PALs being able to access SharePoint Online, that's really a benefit, not having to pay for those. And then of course your remote workers or you yourself, the agent, and having the flexibility to remote into the information that you need, whether or not it be SharePoint Online or Exchange Online, you're able to do that using Office 365. One moment here. Slide seems to be a little slow now that we've clicked back. There we go. Okay, so here are the plans that I was talking about. So the enterprise plans range from $8 per user per month to $22 per user per month. E1 through E4, and then the kiosk plans, $4 to $8 per user per month. And as you can see, the difference between the E1 and the E2 is going to be Office web apps. And then the E2 to E3, remember how I was talking about getting those advanced capabilities as far as Exchange Online and being able to have unlimited archive and not just that 25. That's going to be available within the E3 plan. You're also going to get those Office web apps as well as Office Professional Plus. And then you're also getting advanced capabilities within SharePoint Online. So someone who's a bit more rehearsed within SharePoint, who feels comfortable using Visio, Excel, Visio, Excel, and Access, services, you're going to want those advanced capabilities within SharePoint, and that E3 provides that. And then the E3 to E4 is going to be voice. That is, it actually requires an on-premise server, a link server. So that's something specific for those actual industries or organizations using that link server. But it's also available, and it includes, of course, all of those applications or online solutions, as well as the advanced features that are shown in the E3 as well. And then, of course, the difference between the K1 for the kiosk plans and the K2 is Office Web Apps. So, like I was saying, not every company may need the exact same thing. It may be that you have a few users that need some plans, but other users that really just need email or just need SharePoint Online access. And with Office 365, I think Microsoft not only kind of tried to figure out what those common issues were and tried to solve it using these online solutions, but also they wanted to give access to every type of company, no matter what size. So being able to get exactly what you need rather than having to pay for a grand package just because it's shinier and prettier and it seems like a better deal for the total amount. They really want you to get what exactly you need, not necessarily having to say, oh, I want the one with the pretty bow. The Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Link Online, Office Pro Plus, and Office Web Apps are all available as standalones. So you're able to purchase those individually or within the package, as well as combine them for certain users that you need. So your overall package may be you get a few E1s, like I said, a few Exchange Online Plan 1s, a few Kiosk Plan 2s, but you're able to kind of put them all together and really divvy them up for exactly what your users need. So that's pretty much the end of this demonstration. Make sure that as you're going through Office 365 or other cloud solutions, make sure you of course understand the features, security, support, and control. And then you want to go into exploring the migration, workflows, or the integration, and partner solutions. So this is slide just kind of give you an idea of what, make sure you know, and then what to go for afterwards. So if you'd like to schedule a free IT assessment, of course, call or email me. I'd be glad to set something like that up. If you like to go along with a 30-day free trial, I'd be glad to set you up with that as well. Of course, there are several different trials. There is a small business trial as well as an enterprise trial. One thing I do want to note is if you do plan to go with one of the enterprise plans, try not to go with the small business trial just because they sit on two different types of servers, a small business, whereas the other sits on an enterprise type. So it's not an easy transition. So just a little side note to keep in mind, but 30-day free trial, as well as if you're ready, maybe you've already done a trial or maybe you don't need a trial, you want to go ahead and get started, contact me and request a quote. I'd be glad to put that together for you and kind of talk about migration services, as well as any of our other services, whether it be within SharePoint or just support training if needed. And then if you're looking for other resources or even just this webinar, it will be posted on our website. Go to www.eastridge.net and navigate around to the appropriate location for Office 365. You're going to want to go to What We Do within Office 365. So that's pretty much it. I again appreciate you all joining. Please let me know if you have any questions to follow. My name is Alex Arney, and I hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you again in our next meeting. Thanks.